Oh, hello everyone. It's Crypto Granny here, Susie. I hope you're all well, looking after yourself, being kind to yourself, your beautiful animals, family, and friends, and other animals in the world and people in the world, just to make this a better place. Now, let's get on with the crypto market today. It looks very good to me. Market cap, according to Live Coin Watch, is 3.918 trill, very close to 4 trill. It looks ultra bullish. Volume's up quite a bit today, 149 bill. Liquidity is excellent at nearly 13 bill. We are seeing Bitcoin rise ever so gently, and it was on the back of a very good CPI figure that came out. Obviously, producer price figures that came out were at we're at 2.6%, and they're expecting 3.3. And then CPI came out, and that came out at 2.9%. So the market is definitely pricing in a Fed rate cut, and we'll talk more about that in the news section. So we have seen a bit more buying of Bitcoin. Again, Michael Saylor has been out there buying Bitcoin around 110 to 111,000. And we've seen some buying of whales in Ethereum as well. We've seen buying in also XRP, Binance, Solano, and Link and Dodge as well. So there's some of the main ones where we've seen large whales buy as well as Avalanche. So it looks better than it did yesterday, certainly. XRP is above that $3 level. Some people are calling it a resistance level on XRP at 307. We'll have a look at that as well, technically. And if it does that, it could be back to 331 before we say Jack Robinson. And, it's got to get through, as I said before, resistance of 307. Binance is looking pretty good. I've seen forecasts out there now for Binance of $1,500 per unit. I think you can go a lot higher, Bernard. I mean, when you look at a total max of supply is 200 mil, but what's sitting in the coffers is 140 mil. And CZ's always talked about buying back half the volume that's out there in terms of the market, the circulating volume, which is 148.93. He's already always said that he only wants 100 mil out there. And I think that's going to propel that coin even more. We're seeing some good news on Solano lately, certainly with the ETFs, the exchange traded funds, but also with Forward Industry setting up a global treasury for Solano with the cash proceeds, as well as Galaxy Industries setting up a Solano treasury as well, which works out to be about 1.65 billion. So we'll talk about that in the news stories as well. Dodge, we had MEI Pharmaceutical buy some Dodge as well as some Litecoin. So Dodge is getting a bit of a move on. ADA, I don't know why ADA's up here. I find ADA very expensive. There's not many people investing in it. Someone is obviously to push this price up, but I never see any clients for ADA. And you've got to have clients. That's the name of the game. And I do want to say one thing. People get confused between partnership and clients. Clients is when someone's paying you to use your technology. A partnership is where you split the proceeds of whatever it might be, right? So you always want more clients than you want partners, okay? Unless those partners can bring to the table clients, and that's the most important thing. Tron's, hitting up against this resistance level, and I think Tron will break out very soon. It looks very cheap for me for the amount of wallet holders and active client addresses, okay? Tron is a mega naut. They have something like 220 million clients on their network, and active clients at any one day can be anything from 10 to 20 million, and they're doing a lot in stable coins as well as a lot of volume, trading volume in terms of their network. Link is starting to look very good. I think Link could easily get to $55. It's very cheap here in the high, going back to 2021, it was at $52, right? Also, Avalanche is starting to look good. We know there's ETFs in the wind for Avalanche. Also, there's ETFs for XRP. A small company called Osprey said they're going to set up an XRP ETF. There's a few large ETFs that should be confirmed by the SEC in October for XRP, but I don't know why they're dilly-dallying. They're just taking their time with that, which is pretty annoying for anyone. BCH is hitting a wall at the moment, $600, but I think when it gets through that, it's going to be off to the races much higher indeed with Bitcoin rising. I think you'll get outperformance of BCH, which basically is a derivation of Bitcoin. Hashbar or Hodera, Hashgraph is at 24 cents. Again, there's another ETF in the win for those guys as well from Grayscale. And, there's been a sprinkling of buying by some whales on Litecoin, which is one to watch. Certainly, we're watching Crow as we speak. We're watching Pepe and a few others as well, VeChain, Polygraph, and a few others that we used to invest in, back 5 years ago or so. So the market looks pretty good to me, I've got to tell you that. Let's have a look at the technicals on this because it looks pretty good to me. If we go to total market cap, right? And we saw it back here in August. The market cap got to just over 4 trillion, 4 trillion and 17 to be exact. It's gone through this resistance level here of 3.8. This is the daily charts. We'll only look at the daily charts today. Next resistance level is 407, but it looks very good and it's starting to gain momentum. We've got this smile here. And when you see this smile, you always get a move in markets, okay? Big move up. Completely up. It looks very, very nice indeed. I've got to tell you that. If we look at the total without Bitcoin, again, we've got a very similar situation. We've got a nice smile. We're going to get a move up. The market's been basing for some time. Next resistance, it's gone through that resistance level there of 1.62. It's currently at 1.662. This is total market cap without Bitcoin. The next resistance level was 1.71. Looks pretty good, I have to tell you that. We go to total 3, which is excluding Ethereum and Bitcoin. Again, this thing's broken out, okay? This looks very good. Resistance here was at 1.12. It's currently at 1.115, and it looks like it's breaking out for me. And also you're getting higher lows, okay? Look at that, higher lows here all the way. So you got this nice breakout, and that's going to be a breakout for altcoins. They have underperformed Bitcoin by a lot, okay? Don't forget Bitcoin in its last high was about 68,000, and some of these altcoins were much higher. So this market looks pretty good to me, I've got to tell you that. And I think we're going to see higher highs on the altcoins going forward as well. So let's go back and have a look at Avalanche. And again, on the daily, it hit resistance at 29.85, currently, according to TradingView, 28.38. Has got, according to this, 1.96 million up and 2.46 million down. We might see it come back a little bit to 27.5, but you'd be buying off that level. It has broken out and looks very good technically as well. Again, you've got this smile happening. And when you've got a smile like that happening, you're going to get massive breakout. And we confirmed by the large wick down here as well. If we have a look at BCH, again, BCH is hitting a wall. It seems to be hitting a wall around the 600 level, 605, 615. But, it's in a very tight trading range. So you could see a breakout on that one as well. We just need another wick, a large volume wick to take that up. If we have a look at the daily on this, 9.59K up and negative 11.43K down. If we look at Binance looks great to me. I think Binance can go a lot higher than this. It's just been one big projection up. And, again, the lows are getting higher, okay? And that's always ultra bullish. The next level resistance on this one is 930, getting more volume here as well. Looks pretty good. I've got to tell you, that looks very good to me. This level here, 928, it could get through pretty quickly. It's gathering more and more momentum. Plus the price action is getting a lot tighter and more compressed. That always tells you you're going to get breakout or more upside. So Binance looks technically very good to me, very good indeed. Let's have a Bitcoin here. Bitcoin did get up to 124,500 roughly, and it's starting to move that way, right? If we put a line down here, it's broken the downtrend. And again, we're getting more and more propellation up to the higher levels, right? The lows are getting higher and higher, okay? Next resistance level in the dailies is 119.5, and I think it'll easily get there. We're starting to see more buy here. We're seeing, tightness of price action in terms of the size of the chart, and size of the wicks, I should say, and it looks pretty good. Again, support would be at 113.5. You'd be buying off that. And, for a next move up to about 119.5. I like it very much, actually. Let's have a look at Crow. Crow, we have seen a lot of selling on Crow since Donald Trump, the Trump media, bought $1 billion worth of Crow. You might see some a little bit of weakness down here somewhere. But, you know, I'd be buying off, you know, 21 cents, 22 cents, something like that on Crow. Let's have a look at Dodge. There has been some whales behind Dodge of recent times. And, you know, again, previous high on this one was 28.5. Looks good. It's gone through that resistance level of 25 cents, currently at 26 cents, right? And it's done a bit of consolidation here too, which is always a good thing. And that's bounced off that consolidation very nicely. So, yeah, it looks pretty good, actually. MEI Pharmaceutical, I think we're buying Dodge as well as some other big whales in the market. Ethereum burst through 4400. It's currently at 4520 according to TradingView. Bounced off quite nicely, this 4225, and looks like it could, you know, again get back to that 4907. We are seeing a bit more buying here as well. And that buying 109,000 on the way up and 103 on the way down. Let's have a look at Link. I think Link is going to break out very, very soon, and it could break out to $28 by this. The lows are getting higher. We've seen a lot of consolidation, but the big, you know, the big trend is up, right? And it's starting to look pretty good. If it gets through 27.22, it's going to really go off and take out its all-time highs. And you know, I'm very, very bullish Link. I have to tell you that. Let's have a look at Litecoin. Not doing a lot at the moment. It's right on support here at 115.55, about there. So we just wait and see on that one. Doesn't look as strong as other charts, I have to tell you that. Let's look at Pepe. Again, Pepe's broken the downtrend. Looks like it can go higher. Support is coming in on the daily at the pivot of 401060. So it's pretty much here right now. It needs to go on with this, otherwise it's going to come back into the down channel. So we'll have another look at that in a couple of days' time. Maybe it's going to look a bit better as we get a bit more move on Ethereum, because Pepe is the biggest meme that sits on the Ethereum platform. Okay, Solano is really breakout at this stage. Look very good technically. I've got to tell you that. Broke through resistance of 227. Obviously, Galaxy is behind this one, as well as Forward Industries setting up that large global treasury. They have been buying Solano, and you can see that definitely in the buys here. This thing looks like it could get through. It's already got through the next resistance level of 236.49. Could easily get to 254. Very much so. Let's have a look at Tron on this one. Tron looks pretty good to me as well. It got down to this low here where it snapped back very, very quickly, and it looks like it can hit 35 cents, and then the next level 37 cents, and really take it, literally, take out its previous high. Also, when we see this M structure like that, you get an up and then you get a down as well. So next level on Tron is 0.3678. If it doesn't go down, you're going to get this M structure, which could potentially go further up, okay? So, yeah, it looks pretty good. And VeChain, which we will keep an eye on, because we do buy VeChain. We believe in the fundamental story, but it hasn't done a lot. We don't own a lot of VeChain, so it's not doing a great deal. I'd like to see the chart a bit more bullish than that. It's not very bullish at all. It needs to break upside, and it's not doing a lot as we speak. So, but when you look at the total market cap, and you look at the total market cap with Bitcoin and without Bitcoin and Ethereum, it looks extremely good. I mean, I can only be ultra bullish this market, and you've got all the fundamentals to support it as well. And we'll talk about those fundamentals in the news story, which we'll go through in a sec. But I can't be anything but bullish this market. I have to be honest with you on that one. So let's talk about news stories that came out. CPI came out, and as expected, it rose year on year 2.90. So now the market is definitely pricing at a rate cut at the next Fed Open Markets Committee on the 16th and 17th September. And Bitcoin basically reclaimed 114,000, got to 115,000 and a half. Okay, monthly CPI is at 0.4, just above expectations, but the market really liked that figure and has taken it higher. Some expectations were expecting to be over 3%, and that would have maybe potentially signaled that the Fed weren't going to ease interest rates, but I believe they will. They'll probably do 25 basis points, but I actually believe they should do 50, okay? most of the markets are thinking about 50 basis points. And I think that's probably what they will do, okay? That's for sure. So let's look at some of the other news stories here. We've got Miluz unveils option-based Bitcoin strategy to enlarge its treasury. This is a Brazilian company that it does buy Bitcoin, and it wants to expand its treasury by buying and selling Bitcoin options, which I thought was interesting. It just shows you that more and more companies are following the strategy of buying Bitcoin outside of their cash and putting it into Bitcoin, okay? More and more corporates are doing that, and we're seeing it right across the world, okay? And it's going to gather more and more momentum. Also, the Central Bank of Uruguay is going to study digital currency implementation, and that's interesting because in South America at the moment you've got Venezuela buying Bitcoin and El Salvador buying Bitcoin. So, you're going to get a lot of these central banks in South America or in Africa or even the Middle East looking to buy Bitcoin because all their fiat currencies have been devastated against the US dollar. But also, essentially, it's going to give them a big bang for their buck. They invest in Bitcoin, particularly if Bitcoin keeps going up, right? And I think that makes sense. Interesting, there was an article that came out the other day, which I mentioned to by Arkham Intelligence, saying who's holding the latest rankings of the world's largest crypto holders, and Binance was up there at 209 billion, which I thought was massive, right? And Binance is a meganaut. It should be much higher than where the price is at 907 at the moment, right? Behind that was Coinbase. Even on the stock market, Coinbase, I think the coin is worth about $3.25 or something like that, right? And Binance is an incredible story, and they will list very soon as well. I mean, certainly Coinbase are doing it. Gemini are doing it. Gemini are looking to list on the stock exchange, and they've done more than they thought they were going to do. They've done something like 425 mil, and they got the higher levels for their prices, right? So I think Binance will come to the stock market with a listing as well, just like XRP, and that's going to be very bullish for crypto markets as well. It means they're going to have much more money. Clean Core surpasses the 500 million Dogecoin in treasury. So this company is buying with its cash Dogecoin, okay, and that's probably why we've seen a bit of a bounce in Doge. So Clean Core Solutions, in partnership with Robinhood, are buying cryptocurrency, and they're buying Doge, and that's why we've seen Doge move up the way it has as well. What else we got here? Whales were buying Ethereum. Looks like a big whale bought 204 million of Ethereum, and that got the price through 4,400. We don't know which whale it was, but looks like came from Falcon X hot wallets in 3 hours. So I don't know who that was, but yeah, it's a big parcel of Ethereum to buy, which means the whale's quite bullish. This is the Fed rate cut. Many economists, as I said, are expecting 25 basis points. I believe they should go 50 basis points. Mr. Trump believes they should go 100. I think they should go 50 because I think there's a lot of economic weakness in the US at the moment. Also, Binance Chain leads the charge in onboarding real assets, and it's a leader in everything. It's got 75% of the market, right? Binance Chain is emerging the leader in the tokenization of real-world assets, offering complete ecosystem for compliant issuance, secondary liquidity, and DeFi utility. I mean, it is an amazing story. We love Binance, and it's still incredibly cheap. To think, 4 or 5 years ago it was at $50. This thing's incredible, right? And, you got to buy Binance. It's just an amazing story, I think. And they're doing all the right things. And, they're accelerating globally all over the world. And, I think it's, quite incredible how they've grown just in the matter of 5 years or so. And they don't have a lot of coin out on issuance. Michael Saylor was on the blower again about Bitcoin, and he was basically saying, according to this article, you have to be in Bitcoin, right? It's not just a digital currency, but it's an incredible asset. And he said in an interview, Saylor maintained that for individuals, businesses, and even governments hoping to prosper in the digital era, adopting the asset is not just an investment choice, but also a strategic necessity. It is worth noting that Bitcoin adoption has significantly picked up pace in the crypto and financial sector. And I agree with that. This is going to be continuing to happen, right, all the time. I mean, Bitcoin in my mind can only go one way, and that is up. And any dip is to be bought. And I think Mr. Saylor is completely right about that. I mean, I know he's calling $1 million on Bitcoin per unit in the future by 2030, which is not very far away, people. It's only 5 years away. But, you know, again, we could be looking back and saying, oh, my God, Bitcoin to 115,000 was cheap, because certainly, you know, back in 2017, Bitcoin was at $900 a unit. You know, and that's it. You know, time takes over, and before you know it, in 8 years, Bitcoin's gone from $900,000. 8 years, you know, yeah, 8 years to now, and all of a sudden it's 115,000. I agree with Mr. Saylor, and he certainly put his money where his mouth is. Okay, he's now in the billion dollar wealth index, and you know, before he put this strategy in place, MicroStrategy wasn't doing very well with its core business. So I think the guy's going to be right. I think he's going to be right. They keep accumulating more and more Bitcoin, and you know there's hardly any Bitcoin left, right? I mean, if we look at this, go back to live coin watch, already 94.86% has been issued out of 21 mil, which means it's been mined already. And once that goes, it goes. And this thing's got nowhere else to go but up. Literally, so many people want Bitcoin. It'll get to the stage where you won't be able to afford one Bitcoin, let alone, you know, let alone 2 or 3 or whatever, right? I mean, even at 115,000, it's becoming untenable for most people to buy one Bitcoin, right? So it's still very, very cheap. And I think Mr. Saylor will be absolutely right. Today, we do see a lot of options expiring. Bitcoin and Ethereum options ahead of the FOMC next week, which will be very interesting. But mind you, if you watched my podcast the other day, we know that Binance has been holding heaps of stable coins. A lot of users of Binance are putting stable coins on Binance because they're waiting for the Fed meeting to see if there's any weakness in crypto markets, and if there is, they're probably going to swoop up and buy some crypto. So I don't think crypto is going to fall that much, okay? This story about altcoins, I agree with this story. It was saying that altcoins look very good technically, and particularly if you look at the total 3 altcoin one, it looks like it's breaking out to me, and it looks like a descending wedge, right? Which means it could be very, very bullish. This is what we've got on, total market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I agree with this analysis. I don't know who did this analysis, but, Simon Dedek, founder of Moonrock Capital, that looks extremely good to me. And this is breakout, people. This is going to move higher, which means the altcoins are going to move much higher, right? It's breaking out of a 4-year wedge, basically on the verge of breakout of a 4-year wedge. And it's been tracked on a highly monthly close in crypto history. And I think that's a very good analysis by Simon Dedek. Very good analysis. Gemini IPO draws massive demand. It caps proceeds at 425 mil. Obviously, it was oversubscribed. They weren't going to do as much. And the share price today between $24 and $26, right? Value in Gemini now at 3.1 billion max. You can imagine where Binance is going to go once they do an IPO, right? It's going to be so bullish for Binance, which, Gemini is not I've never used Gemini as an exchange. I know they've had a few problems with capital, so it doesn't surprise me they're doing an IPO on the NASDAQ, okay? BlackRock considers tokenization of ETFs to bring TradeFi on-chain, and I thought this was very interesting because Chainlink are also helping TradeFi with on-chain records and pricing oracles, as well as interoperability, right? And the fact that BlackRock is doing this is going to be big news for Chainlink as well, because they pay BlackRock and TradeFi pay Chainlink for using their network, okay? So Chainlink charge them fees to use their network. And I thought that this was a very interesting story because it actually affects Chainlink in a big way, in a very positive way. What else we got here? So just the story about Bitcoin. Bitcoin stages recovery. Yep, sure does. Looks pretty good. Also, Chinese money enters the picture as Bitcoin Bitcoin price was at 114,000. Again, we're going to see more companies out of China and everywhere else buying Bitcoin. Pop Culture Group, headquartered in Xiamen, disclosed a $33 million purchase in Bitcoin, right? Even though it's supposed to be you're not allowed to in China, but as I said the other day, through Hong Kong, they can buy Bitcoin, okay? Solana gets a very big push, and that push, as we know, was Forward Industries and Galaxy that are setting up Solana treasuries, okay? And that's going to be 1.6 billion, and they've certainly been buying Solana. And we can see that a lot of Solana has been withdrawn from the exchanges. So that's a good story for Solana, right? World largest Solana treasury is here, 1.65 billion, which is fueling Solana and pushing Solana up higher, right? It was a deal that was led by Galaxy Digital, Jump Crypto, and Multicoin Capital, but also Forward Industries are looking to invest in Solana. They're one of the biggest, largest pipe financing companies in the world, and they're investing their cash proceeds in stable coins in Solana, as well as with Galaxy Treasury as well, Galaxy Digital Treasury, right? So that's a huge story for Solana. And that's what's pushing Solana up. Polygon and Cypher Capital joined Forest to expand Poly's access into the Middle East. I haven't seen many stories about Polygon lately, but this is a good story for them. They are looking to expand and partner with Cypher Capital to expand its institutional access to Polygon. That's a good story for them as well. That's what you want to see, expansion. Solana, XRP, and HBAR ETFs are listed on the DTCC as a sign of approval or just hype. Apparently, these appeared on there, which is going to be good. It's fueling optimism, but we haven't seen any signal from the SEC about this. So potentially, we're still waiting for these ETFs to happen. By all accounts, it looks like the XRP one could be October, but I think it's being delayed. Fidelity is trying to get a Solana EFT as well as the HBAR one as well. And that's the Forward Industry Galaxy story, which we just covered, right? Tech giants Forward Industry and Galaxy building substantial Solana reserves. All righty, what else we got here? It's an article here about Ripple versus Swift, and it said that many of the BRICS nations are starting to use XRP. I don't know, the validity of that, because my understanding is there's not a lot of the BRICS nations, which is, includes Brazil, Russia, India, and I forget what the C is, are investing in XRP, right, in terms of its network, okay? But, I know, smaller countries have done it, but I don't know about the big, large ones like Brazil. I mean, certainly Brazil is looking at XRP. They published a paper about XRP, and they spoke about it being looking at the distributed ledger system, and they said they liked it very much. It says in the private sector, projects in Brazil are already using XRPL for tokenization financing. The mixed research, piloting, testing, adoption indicates the BRICS is not standing by, but is actively exploring Ripple's technology. Well, that's a good story for Ripple and their technology, absolutely. So, as I said, XRP, Solana, and HBAR are waiting on ETS by Fidelity, and it's got to be approved by the SEC. There's been some talk that whales have been dumping XRP despite ETF anticipations, but it has looked heavy, I have to say, XRP in the last couple of days, but now that it's through $3.05, and if it gets through 307, it's going to be very bullish for XRP. So I guess the proof will be in the pudding in the next couple of days or so for that one. And that's Osprey that I mentioned launches XRP EFT today. Rex Osprey Spot XRP is launched today, and it's becoming the first spot EFT in the US. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes, how much money they get in for XRP, which is good for XRP as well. And that's pretty much the news today, people. Not a great deal going on. Crypto market's looking very good to me. I think we're going to get a massive breakout in altcoins for sure, massive. And, the technicals and everything lines up, right? And I think next week, we get a surprise 50 basis point cut in the Fed. It's going to really fuel this market onwards and upwards. I am mega bullish, people. Everything's in play to have a very, very big rally in cryptocurrency markets and the specific cryptocurrencies that I've spoken about. All right, that's enough for me. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll talk to you very soon. Thank you.